Welcome once again to Sim Action Cars Review channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, press the bell button and also, comment down below. In today's video, we'll be looking at the 2023 Cadillac Lyriq SUV, so catch a sit, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this car. The 2023 Cadillac Lyriq electric SUV has rivals in the Tesla Model X and Audi E-Tron to the approaching Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. The Lyriq diagrams the course for Cadillac's future arrangement of electric vehicles. It does as such with an underlying thunderbolt of style, with its contracted and raised tail, an expansive laser-lit front end, vertical headlights and the position of a cornerback. The Lyriq nails its styling task. It's a relative of the old Workmanship and Science school, without a doubt, one that is apparently 100 years in front of that subject's time. The Lodge's sensational plunges of finished aluminum and clearing computerized shows signal advancement on another vector. It's managed to a rich, specialized shine that cuts practically all binds with Cadillac's past. The main Lyriq to stir things up around town taps a 102 kWh battery pack and single engine to control the back tires. A double-engine all-wheel drive variant is made arrangements for late 2022. The single engine packs an expected 340 horsepower and 325 lb-ft of force. With an estimated 312-mile range and normally solid EV speed increase, the Lyriq's honored with magnificent straight-line execution that it matches with a heavenly ride that doesn't require perplexing, high-energy versatile dampers to buff the way to a decent, even sheen. The Lyriq seats 5, and its far-reaching secondary lounge sits in front of a major freight hold with 28.0 cubic feet of room. Engineered calfskin covers the seats. Genuine cowhide will not be presented in the underlying model year. The Lyriq has programmed crisis slowing down, vulnerable side screens, and will offer the Super Voyage driver help framework that empowers without hands driving on in excess of 200,000 miles of separated throughways across the US. The 33-inch bended OLED screen shows measures and infotainment and works with lucidity, however had some hamburger remaining associated with our cell phones in an underlying drive. A 19-speaker AKG sound framework with headrest speakers consolidates dynamic commotion scratch-off, and the Lyriq can be begun, opened, locked, and pre-molded with Cadillac's computerized key on your cell phone. Cadillac cooperated with in excess of about 6 charging station specialist co-ops for admittance to in excess of 60,000 level 2 and DC quick charging stations the nation over. Quick charging at 190 kilowatts adds 76 miles of reach shortly. A level 2 home accusing choice of 19.2 kW, 100 amp, administration adds 52 miles each hour of charging. Choices at send-off incorporate 22-inch wheels for an extra $1,550, however anticipate that those large rollers should cut into range. The Lyriq wears nearly 736 drove lights that transmit around its smooth game cart shape. Vertical headlights and taillights outline new understandings of Cadillac's exemplary peak-formed grille, while lights weave the dark precious stone grille, which has an enlightened Cadillac peak and laser-carved pinstripes that will change light examples as various models join the family. The eccentric drove headlights comprise of 9 lights stacked upward, with the main 3 controlling the high shafts. Flanking the light stacks are upward bars for the daytime running lights. That is reflected in back over the closures of the back guard. Higher up where the calculated back windshield closes, the taillights fill in size as they tap out a visual Morse code from the middle to the edge. The flat line makes a sharp turn as it folds over the body and scales the D-point of support to the band of chrome isolating the rooftop from the windows. Inside, genuine wood trim pieces have been carved with many patterns, matching the subtleties found on the speaker covers, headrests, and somewhere else. A glass rooftop crowns the open, vaporous lodge and a wide yet not overpowering 33-inch bended drove show exhibits the innovation stacked into the Lyriq. Its smooth power develops quickly, and the Lyriq rides far better. With 2 focuses for its ride and 1 for its power, in addition to 1 for its electric drivetrain, the Lyriq procures a 9 for execution. The back tire drive Lyriq has a 102 kWh battery pack and a solitary electric engine conveying an expected 340 horsepower and 325 lb-ft of force, and an expected 312-mile range. An approaching all-wheel drive rendition adds a subsequent engine controlling the front pivot. Cadillac guarantees no less than 500 horsepower and a 3,500 pounds towing limit from that model, yet hasn't delivered last specs and won't start constructing those forms until late in 2022. Step into the Lyriq and a couple of subtleties attempt to invoke a portion of the past Cadillac enchantment. The transmission switch is old-school style on the section, and it's a solitary forward gear, to return that far in time. In its all-electric wonder, the Lyriq speeds up energetically, with the standard push off the line that even huge drag V8s experience difficulty outgunning. However, it has a solitary pile of battery cells and not a super load like the connected Hummer EV. It gauges an eye-broadening 5,610 pounds in base trim. We'd appraise its 0 to 60 miles per hour potential at under 6 seconds, still. The Lyriq sports a refined 5-interface front and back suspension and variable electric power directing, and base renditions are shod with standard 20-inch wheels. Twin-tube dampers consider various reactions to large, long asphalt holes or more modest, lower imperfections in the black top, without turning to a more costly and energy-consuming versatile suspension. In the middle between arrangement functions admirably. The Lyriq rides well even on updated 22-inch wheels, without the pistoning or jumping or bluntness that its size and weight could incite. In throughway trudges or country road runs, it has balance and effortlessness dissimilar to some other Cadillac SUV. It twists its knees like a master skier ignoring head honchos, tranquilly and serenely. To empower a game drive mode or one-pedal driving, it's a stage or two through the touchscreen interface. However, the Lyriq will keep up with those settings in any event, when the vehicle's switched off. Cadillac heats in 3 particular degrees of one-pedal driving, from one with mimic drifting impact to one that produces up to 0.3 G of regenerative slowing down. The tension delicate or on the left half of the controlling wheel can mix in regen, and the grating brakes can be utilized. It's repetitive in 2 or 3 different ways with regards to halting, and it's completely coordinated flawlessly. It can likewise be changed from visit to game mode, and ought to be. At low rates the Lyriq can battle with slow controlling reaction. Hair clips and roundabouts become 180-degree twists of the wheel, through a genuinely powerful tune. It's a long, wide vehicle, all things considered. At 121.8 inches long between the wheels, the 196.7-inch Cadillac Lyriq seats up to 5 travelers. We give the Lyriq a 8 here, for incredible front seats, great freight space, and 1 for quality on early-form vehicles we went through a day and a half driving. The Lyriq strikes most front-seat travelers as huge and strong. The power-flexible, manufactured cowhide-clad pails just slip up might be a physically changed headrest. Generally its entryway-mounted controls slant and slide the driver and front traveler into simple seating positions with heaps of cushioning under the legs and low back. A low scramble, an open region under the mid-control area, and light inside tones hit the right harmony with EV purchasers without failing to remember Cadillac legacy. 2 travelers fit fine in back, with extra space of 39.6 inches and enough head space for a 6-footer in either detachable spot. In the center, a projecting seat back and a wide mid-control area will not be agreeable for a third individual for extremely lengthy. Whoever fits in back will have an open view to the sky thanks to the Lyriq's all-encompassing rooftop. However, its awning basically needs to drive from its rearmost position, the board's so lengthy. The Lyriq can hold 4 or 5 rollerboards in its 28.0 cubic foot freight hold. That develops to 60.8 cubic feet behind front seats, and appears to be much greater as a result of its low floor and standard shape. Under the freight floor, there's a profound stockpiling container as well, yet the Lyriq doesn't have a front trunk like numerous different EVs. Where the Lyriq succeeds best, and comes nearest to the high-water mark set by beginning, Kia, and Hyundai EVs, is in the subtleties, from its joystick-driven air vents to the knurled emphases on its control center, to the differentiating trim tone formed into enormous capacity containers on the control center, to the very peaceful cockpit that deletes a few more shrill sounds with dynamic commotion undoing heated into the 19-speaker AKG sound redesign. GM's Super Voyage driver help is accessible. It maps a huge number of miles on which the Lyriq can be driven sans hands, yet with a driver in the driver's seat, prepared to accept the controls on a case-by-case basis. Cadillac has proactively sold all the Lyriqs it intends to work for the 2023 model year, yet 2024 orders will be open soon. We've evaluated the 2023 model for future reference and for a sign at what the following model year will bring. With focuses for standard and accessible highlights, solid infotainment administrations, and a strong guarantee, it's a 9. The 2023 verse at first expense $59,990 including objective for a vehicle outfitted with calfskin upholstery, a glass all-encompassing rooftop, power includes, a power back end, the 33-inch computerized show, and remote Macintosh CarPlay in Android Auto. After that underlying model was accessible, Cadillac offered a 2023 Lyriq for $62,990, including objective. Choices included blue, dark, white, or dark paint, a 19-speaker AKG sound framework with dynamic commotion dropping, and Super Voyage. Cadillac's new Google-based infotainment framework offers a client-configurable screen, route, Wi-Fi area of interest, and remote cell phone joining that incorporates Apple CarPlay. In a couple of examples during our most memorable drive, the framework precipitously disengaged a telephone. Once reconnected, it demonstrated easy to use with touchscreen or control center dial inputs as well as through its great voice order acknowledgement. It can create up to an expected 312 miles from its 102 kWh battery pack, which procures a conditional score of 10 here. We'll affirm that when the EPA distributes last appraisals, the credit can be applied rather to EVgo quick charging station use. On a reasonably prepared DC quick charge station, the Lyriq can pull a 190 kilowatts energize for to 76 miles of reach in a short time, or almost 200 miles in 60 minutes. I'm glad that you now fully understand this vehicle. Would you kindly do me the favor of subscribing to this channel and pressing the notification bell button so that you are notified as soon as we upload another video like this? Thank you.